Have you ever had one of those days, or maybe one of those weeks where your mind just won't shut off? It feels like a runaway train, right? Just filled with thoughts, worries, anxieties, and you just can't find the break. It's something we all feel. But what if the answer isn't some newfangled tech, but actually ancient wisdom packed into these simple, beautiful stories? Let's get into it.
And this quote right here, this is really the heart of it all. It's this powerful idea that the calm we're all searching for, it isn't out there somewhere. You're not going to find it in a new job or a vacation or in someone else. It's an inside game. It's something we have to actually build and practice right here within ourselves. Okay, so if peace is an inside job, why does it feel so impossible sometimes? Why is our inner world so often just a chaotic mess? Well, that's the big question, isn't it? And these Zen stories, they offer some absolutely brilliant and honestly super practical answers. So our first story is all about something we deal with literally every single day, how we react to what happens to us. It's a really simple tale, but the lesson it holds for dealing with frustration and, that flush of anger, it's a total game changer. So I want you to picture this. There's a guy out on his boat. The sun is setting, everything's calm, quiet. It's just one of those perfect, peaceful moments. He's just soaking it all in, totally relaxed. And then, out of nowhere, another boat is heading straight for him. It's on a collision course. And just like that, his peace is shattered. He starts yelling, hey, watch where you're going. But it just keeps coming. And that frustration starts to bubble up into real hot anger. Move! Are you blind? You're gonna hit me. And then, bam, the boats collide. And now he is just furious. He is ready to absolutely let loose on the clueless person who just wrecked his perfect evening. He whips around, ready to shout. And in that split second, everything just shifts. He sees that there's nobody in the other boat. It's empty. It was just drifting along with the current. And all that rage he had built up, poof, it completely vanishes. All that's left is this weird feeling of, foolishness for yelling at absolutely nothing. So here's the kicker, right? The event itself, the boat hitting his, that didn't change. What changed was the story he was telling himself about it. The second he realized there was no one to blame, the anger had nowhere to live. It's a classic mental trap we all fall into. We immediately assume a person's bad intentions are behind an event, not just circumstances. The empty boat teaches us that so much of our suffering comes from the stories we invent. So think about it for a second. Where are the empty boats in your life? That driver who cut you off in traffic? Maybe they're rushing to the hospital. That friend who hasn't texted you back for a day? Maybe they're just completely overwhelmed with something personal. How often do we get ourselves worked up because we've decided someone is a villain when really the boat is just empty? Okay, so the empty boat is all about how we react to the world out there. But our next story, this one, digs into how we handle the chaos inside our own heads. It gets right to that feeling of being stuck between regrets about the past and anxiety about the future. So the story goes like this. A monk is being chased by a tiger right to the edge of a cliff. He sees a vine, grabs it, and starts climbing down to escape, only to look down and see another huge tiger waiting for him at the bottom. He is completely trapped. Above him, that's the tiger of his past, all his mistakes, all his regrets. And below him, that's the tiger of the future, all his fears, all his worries. It looks completely hopeless. So he's just hanging there by this one single vine. And in this moment of pure terror, he notices something. There's a single wild strawberry growing out of the cliff face right next to him. He reaches out, plucks it, and pops it into his mouth. And for that one single moment, the only thing in the entire world is the sweet, perfect taste of that strawberry. And that's the whole point, right? The tigers didn't magically disappear. The danger was still very, very real. But the monk chose to put his entire focus on this one small, simple joy that was available to him in the now. The strawberry. It's a metaphor for the present moment. It could be the warmth of your coffee cup, the sound of rain. It's always there for us to access, even when the tigers of past and future are roaring their heads off. All right, our last story tackles a big one, our constant need to immediately label everything that happens as good or bad. It's about finding wisdom in just letting things be, in a world that is completely and totally unpredictable. You might have heard this one. There's an old farmer and his only horse runs away. All his neighbors come over and say, "Oh, what terrible luck." A week later, the horse comes back and it's brought a whole herd of wild horses with it. Now the neighbors say, "Wow, what amazing good luck." Then the farmer's son, while trying to tame one of these new horses, falls and breaks his leg. And of course, the neighbors are back. "Ah, what awful luck." But then the army comes to town, drafting every able-bodied young man for a terrible war, and they pass over the farmer's son because of his broken leg. So, through all of this drama, this roller coaster of events, what did the farmer say every single time? Whether his neighbors called it good luck or bad luck, his answer was always the exact same. Just one quiet, simple word. Maybe.
And that maybe mindset, that's the whole secret. The farmer gets something his neighbors just don't. You can never really know if an event is good or bad in the moment because you can't see the whole chain of cause and effect that's going to ripple out from it. What feels like a total disaster today might actually be setting you up for a huge blessing tomorrow. And, the reverse is true too. It's about accepting that life is just profoundly unpredictable.
So, if we bring this all together, these three stories give us a pretty clear roadmap, right? Three practical ways to find a quieter mind. First, when you feel that anger rising, ask yourself, is this a real threat or is it just an empty boat? Second, no matter how crazy things get, find your strawberry. Find that one simple thing in the present moment and just savor it. And third, when life throws you a curveball, good or bad, try responding with a simple, powerful maybe.
Because when you really boil it down, what all these stories are showing us is that peace isn't some destination you arrive at once all your problems are finally solved. It's not a finish line. It's a skill. It's an active practice you do, moment by moment. It's all about changing the relationship you have with your own thoughts.
And I'm going to leave you with this one last thought, also from the Buddha. It's a bit of a gut punch, but it's important. It's this powerful reminder that finding this inner peace, this quiet mind, it's not something to put on the to-do list for someday. The practice starts right now, with your very next thought, your very next breath.